Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. You have found yourself here in the Fun Life community. Today happens to be Transformation Tuesday, right? Today is the day that we really lean into the mindset of transformation, right? The book we read says to be not conformed to this world, but to be transformed, right? By the renewing of your minds. And guys, today I'm telling you guys, we're going to continue on. We are unpacking chapter 13. You guys have been following us along for 13 weeks. Some of you guys have followed us since October 6th of 2023. That's how long this thing has been going. But here we are wrapping up chapter 13 of this incredible book, my favorite book of the Zig Ziglar books. And today's guest, we're going to have a guest on today's Transformation Tuesday, and it is none other than legendary speaker and trainer motivator son, the proud son of Zig Ziglar, Tom Ziglar. And before we bring him on, we're just going to kind of give you guys an idea of what we're going to be talking about, because we've been unpacking this book. And the book talks about, chapter 13 talks about your business and your personal life and how you put all of these things together. And interestingly enough, right, one of the quotes that we've been talking about is Howard Partridge's quote that your business exists for one thing and one thing only, and that's to achieve your life's goals. And for those of you guys that are following us along, you guys know that this is the Childlike Faith podcast for all you Christian entrepreneurs who want to grow and scale your business to achieve the financial freedom you're looking for without sacrificing your time, your family, your faith, or your joy. And so without further ado, I'm going to bring on our guest today, proud son of legendary speaker and trainer motivator, Mr. Zig Ziglar, who this whole thing is powered by. I can't believe that I get to do life with you. I get to hang out with you. I get to call you friends. We were just up in Chicago at Jacob's event. What a fun time. Tom, welcome.
Johnny Wan, it is a pleasure to be here with Mr. Energy, Mr. Johnny Wan, the best MC in all the land, who makes everybody on stage better than they really are. So I'm grateful to be here.
Man, thank you. Well, one of the books that we've been unpacking here lately is the Born to Win book, and in that book, Mr. Zig Ziglar talks about how we really were born to win. To be the winner we were born to be, we first have to plan to win, prepare to win, and then can we expect to win. Tom, what can you tell us about this book?
Man, what a powerful book. The idea of the book was to take all of the kind of like the Ziglar wisdom from See at the Top and Over the Top and Confessions of a Grieving Christian and Courtship After Marriage and Raising Positive Kids and all these different books and put the main points into one book. And so in the original marketing of Born to Win, we would say, hey, if you've ever read a Ziglar book, you're going to love Born to Win. You got to get it. And if you've never read a Ziglar book, you're going to love Born to Win because it's the best place to start. So if you got Born to Win, just know that you've got like the ultimate lessons in one place. And I would say this, one of the premises of the book is you've got to know who you are. So if you are born to win, but if you're going to be the winner you were born to be, so who are you born to be? And this is what I tell people. Do you believe who the world says you are? Or do you believe who you say you are? Because here's a news flash. Sometimes we lie to ourselves. Or do you believe who God says you are?
Bingo.
Right. And so that is like right foundational. So who are we? So we go to that source of truth, capital T, to figure out who we are.
Amen. And we always talk about how if you don't know who you are, you can always start by identifying whose you are. And we always, one of the things that I love about you, Tom, is that unapologetically put your faith out there. And the more and more we read and the more we talk about Mr. Zig Ziglar, his character and integrity was one of the biggest reasons for his success. I love his second reason for his success, and that was the consistent persistency. And I'm telling you, anybody can do this. Anybody. It's my favorite book. The tortoise and the hare.
Yeah.
Every time I read that book, the tortoise wins because of its persistent consistency. And we've been talking about Howard Partridge's quote in this book that your business exists for one reason. And it's really the quote. It's kind of the GPS for every entrepreneur, sales pro, real estate agent, team member who feels stuck. Your job or your business isn't the destination; it's the ride, and we get to build it to go where God has called us to be. And what is how important is that? Because one of the scriptures that we've been really leaning into was Proverbs 16:3, where it says, "Commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He's going to establish your plans." And at the Chicago event, there was a lot of talk about alignment. What can you shed? What kind of light can you shed on that part right there?
Yeah, so there's a couple of things here. Hey, Deborah. Deborah's on. She says, having a gooder day. Have a gooder day. So,
Yeah, yes. Thanks, Deb, for coming on.
raised by dad, every day we woke up, it was going to be a great day, right? So every day's a good day. Just try missing one. That was his thing. So here's a couple of concepts. First off, in Howard's quote, uh, your business exists for one reason and one reason only, as a vehicle to help you achieve your life goals. And so what I see is that's a really tough quote for people to get their arms around because they don't know what their life goals are.
Ooh,
So what is it that you really, really want? Okay. What is it that you really, really want? What are the things in life that you want? And of course, in our system with Choose to Win, we go around the 7 areas of life: the mental, the spiritual, the physical, the family, the financial, the personal, the career. You should have goals in all 7 of those areas, because if you don't, uh, where are you going? And then there's another scripture that says, "Do your work as if it's unto the Lord." Right?
yep.
And so here's the question: if and then we talk about our purpose, our why. And I'll ask people, do you have a calling? And that calling's a big word. And then I
Yes,
ask the
it is.
question, is your calling bigger? Is your calling bigger than you are? And of course the answer is yes. If it's not bigger than you are, then it's not a calling, right? And so your calling is bigger than you are, because your calling is is designed for you to become who God created you to become, and you're not there yet. So your calling has to be this huge. And so you were born to win, but in order to be the winner you were born to be, right? We got to understand who we were born to be. God created us in such a way. We got to plan to win, prepare to win, and then and only then can we expect to win. And so here's the first thing we got to do is we got to think bigger. Our goals have to be bigger, like like ginormous.
Yeah.
Why is that? They have to be so big that there's no way we can get it done on our own,
Amen.
right?
Yes.
Because they have to be impossible. Well, what happens when it's possible? Well, we rely on our past and our own effort. When it's impossible, we got to think into the future and we got to get help. And so, one of the hallmarks of this is people who actually achieve impossible goals, they realize they couldn't have done it by themselves,
Yes.
right? So, they're humble. And it's really an interesting thing. When you see people who do this on a regular basis, they understand that. So, if it's a calling, it means it's not possible without God. And God makes it that way. Otherwise, we would take credit for it.
No. Guys, we've got people joining on here. We got Toby Beth, we got Crystal Randall, we got Hilda Pasillas up in Chicago, one of my new favorite best friends up in the Chicago area.
All
Thank you
right.
guys for coming on here. We've got Tom Ziglar, the the author of, I call it the foundational program that we start all the cool kids on here in the Fun Life community with us. and he's just kind of shedding some light on the book that we've been unpacking, Born to Win. I love what Mr. Ziglar says that he said we were designed for accomplishment, engineered for success, and endowed with seeds of greatness. You know, the other quote that says we already have all the characteristics of success. We just need to recognize them, claim and develop them. Tom, when you look at Born to Win and those two quotes that I was just mentioning, how can the cool kids, I call them the cool kids, how can we really lean into those to make sure that we're winning? And as I mentioned up in the caption, that we're not winning in the wrong areas of life.
Yeah. So here's something that's really, really cool is dad taught forever that we should have a self-talk card, right? We should have an affirmation card, where we claim all these qualities of success. And Johnny One, I know if people reach out to you, you can get them that card, right? So they can do that. So just post in the chat there on Facebook, and right down below, and Johnny One will send you that. But you read that card as as a self-talk card, as an affirmation. I am, right? And I love starting it off with I am, because you're speaking God's name when you say I am, and you say honest and disciplined and hardworking and caring and compassionate and all these different things. And so here's something pretty cool. This is a transformational perspective. I was talking to Dennis Waitley, and Dennis Waitley was a great one. He passed away not too long ago. I think within the last 6 weeks or so.
Yes.
I was talking to him when he came out with his updated version of I think it was called The New Psychology of Winning. So he had the Psychology of Winning, and then he re-released it. And we were talking, and this was a couple of years ago, and he said, Tom, I've got a thought for you. And I said, yeah, what's the thought? And he said, why don't you change your affirmations into confirmations? That's a big thought. Okay. Because dad said we already have every quality of success inside of us, which means we just have to confirm it.
Yes.
We got to confirm it. And so as you're doing a self-talk, express gratitude for these qualities that you already have, and express gratitude that you're walking out those qualities 100% every day in every decision that you make. And when we express gratitude as if we already have it, it totally changes who we are and how we live. Right? Because gratitude is the healthiest of all human emotions.
Yes. Yeah. We on Thriving Thankful Thursday, for you cool kids that follow us along, that's one of our biggest things that we cover, right? 1 Thessalonians 5:18, right? Give thanks in all circumstances. When you start to really take on that attitude of gratitude, you know, one of the things that I really love that Mr. Ziglar says, he says, you have to tell the truth in advance. It's not lying. You're just simply telling the truth in advance. You're confirming your affirmation, if anything. You know, I mean, I start out with like, I have a full head of hair. No, I'm just kidding. Just put it out there. You know, Mark Batterson, he's one of the people I'm reaching out. I'd love to have him on here. But he basically says something similar to what you said, that you need to have a God-sized goal so big that it's destined to fail without divine intervention. And all of a sudden, you start to go after that goal. Right? It's that Moby Dick story. You go after Moby Dick in a rowboat, and you take the tartar sauce with you. Man, so many good things. Tom, in the book Born to Win, chapter 13, today's fun fact. Today's fun fact is brought to you by Pedro. And it's sponsored by the Cool Kids All Access Vault. It's a digital vault with over 50. This is my commercial break. With over 50 digital courses, anything from social media marketing to email marketing to YouTube channel, whatever you need, guys. There's over 50 videos in the Cool Kids All Access Vault. And the cool part about it is it comes with a complimentary masterclass that's happening next Tuesday. A week from today, you're gonna have the Cool Kids the Cool Kids Masterclass on how to really activate your childlike faith to live out your childhood dreams in this playground we call life. If you're not part of the Cool Kids All Access Digital Vault, you can still sign up. Just shoot me the DM, Cool Kid, and I'll get you that link to get you registered up for it and find out. But the fun fact today is that Mr. Ziglar in chapter 13, he compared life and business to riding a 10-speed bicycle with God as the chain, the character as the cushion, and your goals as the gears. No chain, no movement. No gears, no speed. No character, you're going to get some bruises on the bumps. And I love this image right here that I'm fixing to put up because that is kind of the vehicle, right, that we use to be able to help people get from where they are to where they want to get to. Tom, what can you tell us about this story of the bicycle?
Yeah, I love it because we're riding through life and we're going to hit road bumps. I mean, we're going to have trials, we're going to have temptations, we're going to have opposition, and these are all bumps that we're going down the road. And you see, the seat is called the seat of character. So the more character and integrity that you operate in, it doesn't take the bumps away. It just makes it easier to go over them. And so, Johnny Juan, I want to reveal two new additions to this bike.
Oh,
Yeah, this is the first time publicly revealed. When you look at the handlebars, okay, so the handlebars on a bike, think of it's like a V, right? And
uh-huh.
the V stands for vision. So we've talked about that before, but handlebars got to have grip, right? So you've got hand grips on your handlebars, and here it is. So on the left side, the hand grip is called belief,
Oh,
and on the right side, the grip is called self-image.
love it.
Okay, so you're riding your bike, you're heading towards your vision, but here's the thing: your belief and your self-image have to be healthy and focused. Otherwise, they'll start pulling you off course. And
Wow.
start pulling you off course. And so here's a little lesson. So how do you so this is what people want. They want to transform from who they are today into a new identity. Okay? And this new identity is the person who automatically gets up and just produces everything that they want to produce, right? They bear fruit that they want to have. But we're stuck in this person of who we are today, and we need this transformation. So we want to transform into a new identity, and we want to do it as fast as we can. So
Mm.
that's the speed, right? So it's transformation, speed, identity. And so how do we create a new identity? Well, this is powerful because I want you to hear what happens is we got to make a choice. So the first thing that happens is we make a choice to take an action. Nothing changes until we take action. Nothing changes, right? Until we do something. So change starts with the thinking and comes after the doing. Now, when we take enough actions, then that starts to build up beliefs. So 1,193 days ago, I think, was when I started working out every single day. So I've worked out 1,193 days in a row. And that's a lot, right? But I wasn't the person who worked out every day of my life until I'd done about 100 days in a row. And now I'm that person. So now this new belief gets stacked up because of the actions. And when you stack up actions, you create beliefs. And when you stack up beliefs, you create a new identity. And so when you're riding that bike down the road and you've got the handlebar grips and you've got belief and identity, I'm sorry, belief and self-image there, that really controls where you're going. So how do you build up those two things? Through the actions that you take, right? That's how you get there.
Absolutely right. It's that you got to take action. Now, one of the speakers at the Jacob Salem event this past weekend, she was talking about that thought and how that thought elicits certain emotions those emotions are then going to cause you to take an action or an inaction, and then that's going to net you a certain result, going back and reinforcing the initial thought. And if you're on the negative, if you got that stinking thinking, boy, that could turn into a really, really vicious cycle. And so before we go further, I want to just go ahead and, hey, Rickster, Hudson Russell's on here. Jacob Salem came on. Appreciate you guys being on here. Paige Porterfield, one of my favorite people, is on here. Thank you guys for joining us. Appreciate you guys. Hey, listen, seriously, we got the son of legendary speaker and trainer motivator, Mr. Zig Ziglar, on here. He's carrying the torch. He's carrying on the legacy of one of the most iconic and influential voices in personal growth and development history. And he's on here today sharing with us the awesomeness of what we've been unpacking in the book, Born to Win. And the image we just had of the bicycle, one of my favorite parts is the pedals, because the pedal stands for PC. It's persistent consistency. In the book, another gentleman said it's pedal like crazy. With purpose. And one of the things I love that Mr. Ziglar said, that you plus God equals enough. And so, Tom, I'm curious on here, what is a way that somebody, one of the biggest things Mr. Ziglar did was that most people don't know. What is one thing that you can share with us that people don't know about Zig Ziglar, but that shaped your leadership the most?
Yeah. Probably, and it took me a while to really learn this lesson. And I'll just give an example. When I first started speaking, I was very nervous. My stomach would go in knots. I would worry about it. All the things that you hear people deal with. And I tried to figure out what's going on. And then I realized what was happening is, before I would go and speak, is I thought people wanted me to be like Dad, right? Like they wanted me to have his charisma, his personality, his style, and everything else. And I realized that I believed a lie I told myself, because nobody told me that. Nobody said, hey, you need to go speak like your dad. My dad never told me that. Right? He always confirmed me. And so this is what I think people miss is, I heard him come up to Dad hundreds of times. Hey, I want to be a speaker just like you. I'm the next Zig Ziglar. And he'd always say, oh, that'd be a terrible idea. That's already taken.
Yeah,
but you can be the best you've ever been. And so here's what I think that lesson is that people, they don't really hear it, is God created you with unique gifts and talents. And you can be successful today, right now, just by using those gifts and talents to the maximum level, right? Success is the optimum use. It's the maximum use of the gifts and talents, the character qualities that God gave you. That's all it is. So you take what you have and you just level it up just a little bit every single day. You maximize it, you utilize it, and that's where you go. And so most people think that they're not enough, right? That they don't have what it takes, that they weren't created with enough. And the lesson here is you've got everything you need. God created you the way you are on purpose, for a purpose, but your responsibility is to dig in and level up every single thing that God gave you. One of the aspects of the bike, we got the pedals, pedal like crazy, right? The PC, but we've also got the gears. So if you look at the gears that stands for outside knowledge and information. Okay. So if we want to go 10 times faster, well, we were created for relationship. We got to go get outside knowledge and information. We got to go find it somewhere else to get that done. And then we can go to 10th gear and we can multiply what we're trying to do. And so we're responsible for who we are and leveling up, but we're also created for relationship. And so when we set that BHAG, that big, hairy, audacious goal, that impossible goal, that thing that's bigger than we can imagine, that calling that we're called to, we have responsibility to level ourselves up, but we're not stuck there. We've got to go in to other people who have gifts and talents in other areas and say, how do we do this together? Right. Because they can 10x, 100x, whatever it is that you're trying to do.
All day long. Yeah, somebody put in the chat earlier about, yeah, we're the only ones that can use our ability. And as Mr. Ziglar say, friend, that's an awesome responsibility, right? Nobody else has been given that. If it would have been given to somebody else, they would have got the vision. They would have got the calling. And whenever I heard that quote that you said that our calling isn't meant to fit who we are today, but who we were created to become, that actually kind of took a little bit of load off my shoulders, because my only responsibility is to do the next thing, to take the next step forward. And unfortunately, too many people will not move out of their comfort zone. They're not willing to take a step out of their comfort zone. And if they're not willing to take that first step, then that second step is it's not even you can't even get there. Tom, I want to really challenge the cool kids. And so if you're a cool kid watching here in the Fun Life community on the Childlike Faith podcast, I want to see if Tom can help us out a little bit. If you could give these cool kids, Tom, one dare or a challenge for the next season of life to really help them be more, do more, have more, what would it be?
Yeah. So I'm going to share a question that was asked me.
Okay.
And then I'm going to challenge you to do it a year's worth of work in 60 days.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So I'm meeting with my coach, my mentor, Steve McKnight, and this is 14 years ago. 13 years ago, dad had just passed away. So it's 12 and a half years ago. And he says, how's the business going? And I said, oh, it's good. Well, tell me about it. So I told him about it. How are you doing? And I said, well, it's hard, but we're doing good, because dad had passed away 3 months earlier. And he says, so how are you going to grow your business? So I gave him the plan, right? The plan that I'd been executing and working on for years, knowing that the day was going to come when dad was no longer a part of the business, right? Because he passed away at 86. It's not like we didn't know that day was coming. And he said, okay, is it okay if I ask you another question? I said, yeah, what's the other question? He goes, imagine if you pick up your cell phone right now and somebody on the other end of the line said, I've just kidnapped your wife and daughter, and you've got 1 year to increase your revenue by 10 times, or you'll never see them again. What would you do? That is a clarifying question.
Yeah.
Because we get stuck doing what we've always done and kind of the good things, but to do 10 times with that amount at risk, we will get rid of the good so that we can do the great.
Yes.
So let's look at it this way. So maybe you have a goal to make your business X by the end of 2026. Let's just say you've got to make that happen by October 1st. How are you going to do it? So let's compress time. So if you're building a coaching practice, maybe you want to, by the end of 2026, I want to have 20 coaches, which means I've just got to get 1.5 new clients a month in order to get there. Now you've got 2 months to do that. What are you going to do? It'll make you think different, because here's the reality. You need to find somebody
Absolutely.
you got to find somebody who can refer you 10 coaches. Where do they live? Or 10 clients, right? So whatever your big goal is, I want you to time compress it. If it's a year long to get there, I want you to try to do it in 2 months. And I want you to journal it. I want you to think about it. How do you do it
Yeah.
different? How do you do it different?
Yeah. So there's your challenge, cool kids. Get out there and do it, right? Hey, Tom, if I've learned anything about the process, and especially when we start to look at this quote, right? Born to win, but you got to plan to win, prepare to win, all that stuff to expect to win. Tom, we got to highlight the blind spot. What's the part that people skip? And why does it trip them up?
Um, I think I think what tricks people up is they feel like they need to be um, educated, um, knowledgeable, secure before they take action. You
Yeah.
don't. You don't. Um,
No. That's what Mr.
you
Ziglar said. They get cooked in the squat, right?
right, exactly.
Right
And
as the
so
biscuit was about to rise, it's that on your mark, get set, get set, get set. Let's just go. Don't the timing's never going to be right. The timing's never going to be perfect. I think Nike stole the show with those 3 words. Just do it.
I think you're right. So here's the thing: don't overthink that. Just
Yeah,
take action. Just take action.
awesome. Well, Tom, I have been absolutely blown away. Excited you came on here. Any parting words you want to share with the cool kids this morning as we get on about our day? It's Transformation Tuesday here in the Cool Kids Club, here on the Fun Life Community, on the Childlike Faith podcast for all you Christian entrepreneurs. Parting words, Tom. Have at it.
Yeah. So I'll just leave with this: change starts with the thinking and comes after the doing. Right. So if uh, if you have something worth achieving, I would suggest do it, do it, do it, and get it all done even before lunch. How about this? I wrote a book this way. I wrote a book,
It works.
1,000 words a day, and I made a commitment that I would not eat anything until I got my 1,000 words written. So whatever the massive action is, whoops, whatever the massive action is that you've got to take to achieve that big goal. What if you did the same thing? What if you said, I'm going to make 50 calls, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, whatever it is, before I ate anything? Food is a motivator. Food is a real motivator.
Yeah, it is.
Do that.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, guys, Tom Ziglar, author of the book Choose to Win, which is the program. It's the foundational program we start all the cool kids on here in the Fun Life community. And I'm actually, Tom, starting to really kind of lean into this one here, the 10 leadership virtues for disruptive times. It's amazing how everything is just everything just kind of goes together, and it fits perfectly. I need to clean up my office. But Tom, I appreciate you coming on here. Thank you for being willing to come on here and share with the cool kids. Again, guys, if you've been watching us, thank you for hanging out with us. Tom Ziglar is our guest this morning. We're finishing up the chapter 13. We've been unpacking each chapter 1 week, and we're on the final chapter 13 of the Born to Win book. He says, you were born to win. Now, to be the winner you were born to be, you first have to plan to win, prepare to win, and then and only then can you expect to win, guys. I want to go ahead and finish up this episode thanking Tom for being on here. And if you got anything out of this, hey, just simply hit the share button. Share this with your friends, your family, your neighbors, your coworkers, somebody. Tag them down below. Say, hey, you need to listen to what Tom Ziglar says. To be more, do more, have more in this life, right? You can't give that which you don't have. And the ultimate gift, this is what I love about Tom. He talks about legacy, leaving that legacy that you guys ultimately were designed to leave. And if you want to take this even further, hey guys, let's connect. Go down to funlifecoaching.com and go past the digital courses. And there's a button down there that says book a call. Right now we're doing them at no cost, complimentary phone call, just a coaching call, and see if what we're doing is going to be able to help you activate that childlike faith that's inside of you, to be able to be more, do more, and have more. And if you want to bypass that, just go ahead and click on any one of those digital libraries, right? This whole Fun Life community, this whole Childlike Faith podcast is brought to you by the Cool Kids All Access Pass. And then don't forget to sign up for the Masterclass tomorrow, or next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. Tom, thank you so much for being on here. Appreciate you. Love you, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Man. Thank you guys so much. Adios.
Hasta la bye-bye.
Yeah.